hello everybody. This is the Chini Magic Podcast with Impact Africa Network. This week I am excited to actually have somebody who I have waited for a long time to have on the podcast, and he's got a very interesting story to tell. One of the most tenacious, never say die entrepreneurs that I've come across in Silicon Savannah, Mr. Alan Osoro, founder of, what is your company called now? Because I know you've gone through a couple of changes, right?
It's First Choice Global.
Sorry?
First Choice Global.
First Choice Global. So founder of First Choice Global, which is remittance, payments, fintech play, right? Targeting the diaspora, that money that's coming back into our market, which is growing every year on year. And that's kind of like the market you're going after, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. So good. I mean, you're a fan of the podcast, I believe, right?
Yes, I follow your podcasts.
You've listened to some of the episodes?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Any favorites that you can remember? Any things that you...
They're all excellent.
Come on, man. They can't be all excellent.
Amazing stories.
Amazing stories.
Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully today we can deliver one amazing story also. Sindio?
Hopefully.
I'm sure.
Hopefully mine is also amazing.
So this is going to be good. Yeah, I mean, you and I actually met, I want to say 2 years ago. 2 years ago, right?
2017, I think.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah. And at that time I had come to the market to, I think I was still doing my market research between here when...
You're just coming from Rwanda. You were working on something.
Oh yes, I had gone to... Oh yeah, this is the time I was spending a month in Kenya and East Africa doing my market research, looking to see if... I was really looking to gather data or information to make the decision whether I was going to move back. So this was February of 2018.
Was last year?
It was last year.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
And how did we connect? I think it was Martin Karanja.
Martin Karanja gave you my contact.
Yeah.
I think you met him in Rwanda.
I met him at the conference.
GSMA conference, I think.
No, it was the Africa Tech Summit or something like that in Rwanda.
Yes.
Yeah. That's where I met Martin, and he connected us, and we proceeded to meet and kind of learn more about your story, and all that. So, I guess let's dive into it, man. Typically, people really appreciate, like you said, the great stories around your background, where you grew up, like education and your journey to founding your company, and then we can take it from there.
Okay. So, pretty much I grew up in Kisumu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my schooling. Primary and high school was in Kisumu.
Mm-hmm.
Then proceeded to Strathmore College.
Mm-hmm.
Then ended up at University of Nairobi. Then got into employment early 2002. Got into...
What did you study at Strathmore?
Strathmore, I did management information systems.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was pretty much IT.
Mm-hmm.
University, I did Bachelor of Commerce, Management Science.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I moved on to employment. So my first gig was at a company called Joy Freighto Creative Solutions.
Joy
Freighto. It was a design company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was doing web stuff.
Web development?
Yeah, web development. That was in 2002, to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From then on, I moved on to a company called VTS Phoneworks. Got into telecom.
Mm-hmm. And so, talk a little bit about kind of your trajectory. Like when you were growing up in Kisumu, what were your ambitions, or when you looked at the future, what did it look like? What did you want to be when you grew up, and did that play out the way you thought it would?
Yeah, when I was growing up, I used to be amazed by computers.
Okay.
Yeah, my elder sister, she's in Canada right now.
Mm-hmm.
That was in early 90s, I think, around 1992.
Okay.
She used to go to my father's office and do some Word Perfect by then. There used to be a program called Word Perfect.
Right.
Yeah, it was word processing.
Word processing software.
Yeah. Then it used to jazz me.
Mm-hmm.
When she comes back home, she's like, I was at my daddy's office doing some Word Perfect, working on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
So it really jazzed me up. By then I was in primary, I think.
How much older was she than you, your sister?
By about 8 years.
Oh, so she was much older.
Yeah, she was older than me.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it just the two of you?
No, we are 5.
You're 5. So she'd come home and be like, "Yeah, I was doing this, word perfect
she's
thing."
like, that is favorite girl, so...
Okay. Was she first in your family, or?
Oh, she's the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that really encouraged me or
Inspired you.
inspired me to be like, I need to put some interest into this IT stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is what really gave me the foundation into getting into IT.
Okay.
Yeah, so eventually by the time I cleared high school, so
Which high school? Anything?
Kisuma Boys High School.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's where I was.
Mm.
So I was like, I need to get into college and
Mm-hmm.
do some IT.
Mm-hmm. What was your first exposure to a computer? I mean, like on a regular basis. Was it when you got to Strath, or?
Actually, my first exposure was in college, Strathmore.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time I had a one-on-one with a computer. I was able to work on a computer.
For more than 1 minute.
After.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got into this course, so I was like, oh, so in my head it was like I'll be working computers throughout
Right.
in college. So I got into class, I'm doing some QA. I was like, oh, it's a maths class again. Interesting. So I'm like whatever. So we used to have sessions, computer lab sessions, maybe about 2 or 3 hours on particular days. So that's when I had my first interaction with the computer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then?
So I did a diploma and a higher diploma
Mm-hmm.
in IT, information systems. Then in between there, I got into campus because I joined college right after high school. Immediately the results were out. So I never stayed at home for long, maybe a month or so. Came to Strathmore, did an interview, got admitted, and began the course. So after that, I got into campus. There was that waiting period. So I got into campus, did my BCom, but in between I was actually working. Yeah, so I'd gotten a job at J-Freighter Creative Solutions, where I was sort of a web guy, web designer, and IT staff support. That's where professionally began now working on IT. Yeah. So after J-Freighter, I got employed at a company called VTS Formworks. It was a vast company, a valued service company on telecom. Pretty much, it was among the first companies that got interconnectivity to the telcos, that is Safaricom. Same time was Cellulant. I think it was VTS Formworks and Cellulant, and a company called Three Mice. They're the only ones that were connected to Safaricom by then.
Doing what?
VAS was mostly stuff with short code promotions, SMS,
Okay.
the 5-digit premium numbers. Yeah, so the breaking news stuff used to do the breaking news competitions on premium numbers. That is what the company used to do, basically. So offering notifications to SMS notifications.
Basically SMS.
Yeah,
right.
SMS notifications.
SMS distribution.
Yeah, distribution.
SMS as a channel for which still happens.
For communication, yeah.
Right. Okay.
You are the pioneers,
Okay,
basically,
okay.
for SMS. So I worked there for a while, to about 2008. So actually that stint gave me a lot of experience in terms of telco. So my first company was web. Then the second company where I got employed, I got now the experience in telco. Yeah, mobile telco.
So you went deeper into the infrastructure.
I'm getting insight gross into sort of fintech. You'll come to see how it
came together. Great. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So the third company, I got employed at a company called Craft Silicon.
Okay.
It's a software house. I think it's the largest in East Africa right now. Locally homegrown in Kenya. There I was working there as a implementation engineer. So basically my duties were working on implementing core banking solutions.
Okay.
Yeah, core banking and ATM switches, software for that runs ATMs. Now, at that particular point, now I got into the deep end of finance and IT systems, how they work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was there for a while, up to about 2012.
So 4 years at Craftsman.
Yeah, about 4 years. So got a lot of experience in terms of finance. See, so my initial course was in college was IT. Then I topped it up with Beacon. My first role was web. Second, I was in mobile.
In the networking infrastructure, telco,
Yeah. Now then I come and top it up with
financial systems, financial services, systems and integrations, and all those
integrations. So I could understand flow of funds, how all those things, how
intersect. So the whole value chain, right, from web to, I guess, the payment infrastructure.
Yeah, to the payment infrastructure.
And the underlying kind of communications.
Yeah.
Right.
The underlying infrastructure systems that
run on top of that.
Make all those things to run.
Yeah.
So pretty much had the whole packet. After Craft, I joined a company called AGX Systems. I got into BI, so we were
business intelligence.
Yeah, business intelligence, data warehousing and business intelligence. So
were they using a software from a different market and implementing it here, or did they build their own IP? What was the?
Actually, we were supporting DHL UK.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we moved on to support another company called Yodel. DHL sold a unit of their business to a company called Yodel in the UK. So the support was local from Kenya.
All right. So basically, you're just supporting their BI operations.
Yeah, BI, setting it up and supporting.
What system were they using? Which brand?
They were using a system called MicroStrategy.
Oh, MicroStrategy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I did a stint there for about 1.5 years. Then I called it quits. Yeah, but then I had this idea of developing an application that could enable cross-border payments. Yeah, cross-border payments, and my specific market was the US to Kenya.
To the remittance.
Yeah, the remittance space.
So where did this idea come from? Whose problem were you solving?
The problem I was solving was actually mine. It's a story. Way back in 2010, my father, he's now later, he got sick. He got very sick. So we took him to the hospital, then they did some CT scan, then it was discovered he had some fluid in between the skull and the brain. So, so he had to be rushed into surgery almost immediately. It was an emergency, so yeah, because remember the neurosurgeon was like, the surgery has to be done immediately because it had been there for a while. It's only that we hadn't known the problem. So yeah, all along he'd been misdiagnosed.
Okay.
So we had to get him into surgery.
Okay.
That was at the Nairobi hospital.
Right.
Doctor's fee was quite expensive.
I can imagine.
Yeah. We've just been told he needs to get into surgery. He wasn't on medical cover. He was about 70 by then.
Okay.
Yeah, he's retired. So we need to raise the funds for him to get into surgery.
Right.
Luckily, the doctor, he's called Dr. Olunya, like get fees, get some cash, book the theater. I'll operate on him, pay the
hospital.
Yeah, pay the hospital. We will discuss later about my fee. So
Wow.
either we still have to raise a considerable amount of money.
Right. So he exempted himself from the fee structure and said, wow.
But we still needed to raise about $6,000.
From 0 to 6. Damn.
Yeah, in an afternoon.
In an afternoon.
Yeah. And the doctor, I think he was flying out of the country the following day. He had another surgery, I think in Ghana.
Are you serious?
There are very few. Very few neurosurgeons.
You had to raise $6,000 in an afternoon to save your dad's life.
Yeah, so for him to get into surgery for
Wow.
to great. So, that was quite a task for us. So the money had to be raised somehow.
Had to be, man.
So we had to come together.
The African style, you know?
Yeah, but no family.
Right.
Yeah, so my sis, by then she was in, she'd moved to Canada. She used to live in the US, so she had moved to Canada. So she also needed to send some cash home. And then the only way you could send money home was Western Union.
Western Union, yeah.
I think it was about, what time was it? I think it was about 12 noon. I think she was still asleep.
Oh, God.
So you need to get the cash. So eventually she managed to send her cash, but that was later on in the evening, about 5, 6 p.m.
Oh, man. You guys are counting the hours.
Yeah. Because this doctor is, I think he's flying out the following day.
The doctor?
Yeah, to Ghana. He had another surgery scheduled in Ghana.
Yeah.
So what do? Either way, money eventually got here, but through Western Union. So I was like, okay, now how many people are going through a similar situation as mine? Unable to send cash. So that
planting the seed, eh?
Yeah, we're trying to solve this problem. So 4 years later, managed now to try and come up with a solution that also leveraged on M-Pesa. By then, M-Pesa had already kicked off. There are lots of advancement on M-Pesa by then. So SawaPay was born, the application.
So okay, so now, wow, I mean that is a founder story, origin story, if I ever had one, solving a problem that was so deep, near and dear to you, man. Like you experienced the pain firsthand.
Yeah.
Right? And you went through the Jesus. Okay, so 4 years later, this problem is still existing in your spirit, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
that's after he passed on now. In 2014 now. That's 4 years later.
So he survived the surgery?
Yeah, he survived the surgery.
Okay.
Yeah. Prolonged his life for a while. About 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so he passed on in January of 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now SawaPay is born. Talk about that. What happens? You're at this company where you're doing...
Yeah, no. I mean, this is the company NGX system. So after my dad passes on, that was in January of 2014. So I decided, I think it's time for me now to build this application that can be able to solve this whole problem.
And why then? What was the thing? I mean, why did you wait 4 years?
I don't know if it was emotions but I hadn't really built it in my mind that I can be able to do it. I hadn't actually thought that I can do it.
You hadn't bought into the idea that you could do it.
Yeah. So I think when it passed on, that is when it actually hit me.
Okay.
I think I can do something. So actually, he didn't go back to work. So that's why I resigned.
So wait a minute. So explain that. This is important, right? I mean, I like to dig into the way we make decisions in life, right?
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by the human condition, right? So your dad passes on 4 years after this event, right, or this
Yes.
experience,
Yes.
and then you say you didn't go to work.
Yeah, after the funeral, I didn't go to work. So it's been a 1 month.
From work. Okay, so you were given a month
Yeah.
to
but
go
then-
bury your dad.
Yeah. So actually, the whole of February, because he passed on 30th of January 2014. So all of February, I didn't go to work. It was sort of relief. But then in between, I was like, okay, I don't think I'll be reporting back to work. So
What were you gonna do?
I had started building it in my mind.
Ah.
Yeah, the application. I'm going to do it. So I started doing. I had done my research.
Okay.
Yeah, before, but just not
Not in depth
in depth.
and not continuously. Maybe
Yeah,
broken up.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, okay, I think I'll build this thing. Let me build this solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I resigned, so now I started building it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of research, knocking on doors, how is this supposed to work. I remember
So were you by yourself? Did you start by yourself?
I started by myself. Then a very good friend of mine is called Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
I explained the idea to him. And I was like, I think this thing can work.
And what was the idea essentially? It was just
Moving
mobile payment.
sending money from the US.
From the US
to Kenya,
to
it hits
simply.
your M-Pesa,
Uh-huh.
yeah, or your bank account instantly.
Okay, so basically what people are doing right now.
Yeah, regardless of what time of the day.
Right. Forget
What
Western
time of
Union
the
being
week.
Open, nothing.
You forget about the clearing cycle for the banks.
Uh-huh.
If I send money, it will hit your bank account instantly.
Right.
Yeah. So I already had the architecture
In your mind.
in my mind. I had put it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved on.
Mm-hmm.
We developed a business plan,
Mm-hmm.
business case. So we came up with the financials, so it was feasible. So now implementing it. So that's where the challenges were.
Okay, the real stuff.
Yeah, regulatory.
On paper it's easy, but
it's
man.
very, very easy. Regulatory now. Get into the regulatory piece now. Oh, so I remember one day we walked into Central Bank of Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we met a guy called Sylvester. I can't remember the second name. It was in bank supervisory. We went and explained the whole thing to him. We showed him our business plan. Like, good idea, but you're not a licensed company, money transfer company, so you can't do that. You cannot be able to.
Yeah. You don't have the paperwork.
You don't have the paperwork. You cannot move money. You cannot bring in money, remittance, another country if you're not licensed. We're like, okay, now, what do we need to do? So like, you go look for a partner who can be able to handle for you the payments,
Exactly.
the KYC.
Right.
Because we need you to do the KYC.
Right.
But you can't do it since you're not
Right.
licensed by CBK.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now we fix that piece.
Fix the piece of the partner.
Your partner.
Okay. So you found a local partner,
We
international,
found a local partner.
who was licensed to move money to.
Yeah. So we partnered with the bank.
Okay.
That was Chess Bank.
Okay. Oof. Ominous.
There's a great story behind that bank.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate what happened. But now that piece was solved.
Okay.
But now there's another regulatory aspect from the US side.
Okay.
Ooh. What should we do? So, the US side, there's a regulatory aspect also.
Okay.
You need to be licensed by FinCan, you need to get state by state licensing. We looked at that whole piece, it was almost impossible to crack it.
Why so? Just the cost complexity.
The complexity itself. We are local. We are Kenyans.
You're local. You're here.
Yeah, we're Kenyans.
You're not in the States.
Yeah.
And then you probably need to have citizen requirements to actually maybe do some of these things, or no?
Not really per se.
I guess you're a company, so citizen, you're a company.
So,
But it helps if you're...
if you're there, or if you have a partner there, it will have been easy for us. So, how do we do it, Samuel? Like, the heck, I think we can go to the US.
Let's fly to the US, no partner. Who are you gonna...
Partner, we wanted to open a bank account.
You went to the US to open a bank account?
To get a lawyer, first of all. To talk to a lawyer.
To solve this problem, basically.
Yeah, we want to solve this problem. So, how do we do? We apply for a visa. We give it a visa, like,
wow.
Was it this easy?
So both of you are gonna go. And this time you're funding this thing out of pocket?
Yeah, out of pocket. Yeah, the two of
And
us.
what month are you in now into the process? This is February when you said
this
not
is
to...
April of 2015. This is a year.
Wait.
Whoa. So it isn't that.
Let's take a step back. So February you decide not to report back to work, right?
Yep.
2014. You start the process. Why are you building the application? Are you doing research? What are you doing? What's this?
Yeah, a lot of research and also building the application. So
who was doing the development work?
We got a developer.
Okay.
He developed the application.
The app.
So he developed the application. Application was up and running. So not really up and running. There's a few pieces that were missing. So we still needed to get a payment processor. Payment processor had to be in the US. So that piece was missing. We had also come up with a business plan. The business plan, I think we completed it around July. Yeah, around July of 2014. Around July of 2014. That is when the business plan was completed. So there were about 2 or 3 months trotting in between CBK banks looking for a partner. That was around
How many meetings do you think you took in that time?
Wow. There were many. I lost count.
A bunch of meetings. 20 to 30 meetings.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now come April of 2015.
So this is a year and some change later.
Yeah.
This is a year and 2-3 months later.
Yeah.
You're still not yet operational.
We haven't put everything together.
The app was the easiest part to build.
The easiest. Anyone can come up with an app.
Anybody can build an app, but it's the underlying...
The whole ecosystem. There's an ecosystem there that...
It's,
So, we ended up in the US. So,
where in the US did you go?
First of all, we landed in New York. We had an appointment with some lawyer. Got him online.
You found a lawyer online also?
Yeah, so he didn't honor our
meeting?
Yeah.
He didn't honor your meeting?
Yep. And he was charging quite expensively, but we hadn't paid him, so...
Okay.
Not a big deal. So, I think we start. So, we walk into Chase Manhattan, I remember.
From the street. Consumer bank.
Like... Need to open up an account. We had a friend of ours who was in the US there. Okay. So, like, okay, do you have an address? Yep. What kind of business? Money service business. Like, oh, we'll have to end this conversation right here. We don't open those accounts.
Wow.
That was blunt.
Sorry, this is hard.
I'm in this big city.
You're in New York.
You're a very, very big city.
And you're here trying to open a bank account for a business, and you're told it's not happening.
Yeah. Let's just stop this conversation.
Let's stop the conversation right now.
Let's stop wasting each other's time. So,
gotta love New Yorkers, man. They don't mince words.
So, this friend of ours was in DC, so we took a train to DC. We go meet a friend of his there. So, we explained the business that we are trying to do. So explained to him that he's like, oops. So he'll be like, he can be able to assist us. He tells us to give him a week, so we're there for 3-4 days. We fly back home. Things didn't really work out the way we thought they would. So
basically, what did you accomplish in this trip, other than knowing, damn, this is going to be harder than
I
we
got to
thought?
see New York.
You got to see New York. Hey man, there's always a silver lining.
So we come back. Then I was like, oh, why didn't I even talk to my sister that I need to get a lawyer? I think a lawyer can be able to assist me over some of these hurdles. So I talked to my sister who's in Canada. She had been in the US for quite a number. I think she was there for about 14 years before she moved to Canada. So she's like, oh, you need to see a lawyer. I can get you a lawyer. So she sends us the name of a lawyer who's based in New York.
Oh God.
Yeah.
After you've come back.
Yeah. She's called Lydia Ferraz. Can't forget her. She really assisted us. So we talked to her, we explained to her what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve. Then she sends this whole list of requirements that are needed to be done. So at least she opens up.
Right. A process.
Yeah. Of what we need to do for us to operate. To start operations. So, and she also sends us a list of partners that we can talk to who can help us. So what we actually need to do is to get a partner in the US. Money service business that is licensed, so that they partner with us. And to get the business up and running. And the Kenyan side is fixed. The US side wasn't. So she sent this list. So we got through it.
How big was that list, just roughly? Numbers of things on it?
Not a lot. Maybe 10 or so items that we needed to tick off.
Yeah.
So we ticked off, so we needed to get a partner in the US. So we get one. That was in September now of 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We get a partner in Georgia, Atlanta. So what we do? Good. Hop onto a plane again.
To go meet the partner?
Yeah. We land in Atlanta. The following day we sign, because we had been talking with the partner. So
obviously.
Sign off. We have everything in place.
Finally.
Not really everything in place. There was one piece that was still missing. A card processor.
On the US side.
So we need our partner in the US to get an account for us to be able to process the payments. So after we signed, that was in September of 2015. So the application is ready, and the only option that we have is SCH. Yeah, to be able to acquire via SCH. That was direct debit. But that wasn't really the customer journey that we had envisioned. Yeah, on the application, because SCH takes about 3 or 4 days for it to clear, settle, the money hits our account, then we actually know that we've been able to pick the money, then we should be able to release on the other side.
So it was a verification problem, right?
The clearing cycle. The clearing cycle.
The clearing cycle was long. Okay.
Yeah, was long. For us to be able to
actually
know
the
that.
process is 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Roughly?
I don't know. 3 days, then for us to be able to know that actually it has gone through, it's when the money has been credited into our account. That is when I can be able to release cash on the side.
So you've not really solved the problem other than having to go line up to get money from...
Yeah, so 3-4 days. Someone will still use Western Union. I haven't solved anything.
You haven't solved the problem?
Yeah. So like, no, I'm not launching with SCH till you get the card processor. So luckily we get a card processor January of 2016. So we integrate the whole month, January, testing, the integration and testing, all that is done. And the application is ready. So like, when do we launch? So like we need to launch when we need to get an opportunity to launch where we can get a lot of Kenyans, because we also
You want that bump. You want that.
yeah,
Right.
a cost-effective bump, not
Right.
using a lot of money, but
Right.
something that will
Trigger that whole kind of virality and boom, it's out of here.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
End of February, we realized there's an event coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas Sevens.
Las Vegas Sevens. Perfect place to do a launch of anything.
How best to get a launch?
You're targeting Kenyan market.
But then we already have a partner in the US.
Okay.
But we've got a director
Mm-hmm.
in the US. He's based in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
He's really assisted us.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a blessing, sort of. Because he's based in Georgia. Our partner is based in Georgia.
Oh wow. Okay. So geographically,
Like,
it was,
yeah,
it was working.
geographically, it was working.
How did you find this person?
My sister again came through. A friend of
Okay.
my sister.
Yeah.
My sister used to live in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she knew him or her.
Yeah,
Okay.
to him. So they've been good friends.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, I know a guy called Peter. Peter can assist you. So there's also interest in this business. He's a IT guy. He runs his own farm.
Mm-hmm.
So he got on board around October of 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
when he got on board onto the company. He really assisted a lot in coordination, even during that launch process. So it really helped a lot. He's on board. So he tells us, oh, there's something called Kenya Connect.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who organize the Kenya Corner
Mm-hmm.
in Las Vegas. I don't know that you've attended it.
I've never been to the Vegas Sevens now.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So we get into the Kenya Corner. There's a section where Kenyan entrepreneurs, Kenyan companies, guys from Kenya, even in the US, they just come and showcase their
wares.
wares or whatever they're
business.
doing. So get a booth.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect place.
Perfect place. SawaPay is ready to go.
Yeah, we got there with goodies, Kenyan flags,
The whole
Kenyan-
thing.
Yeah. So guys up there giving out those bracelets with the Kenyan colors. Oh,
What's this? Yeah,
this is the
excitement.
talent about the app. Oh, nice, Max. It was a success, very, very huge success.
Mm.
We are up and running. Transactions start flowing in,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we managed to launch the application.
So wow, this is cool. So you go to this Vegas Sevens, amazing kind of turnout. Obviously,
Very big turnout.
people are excited about it because it's a problem they
Exactly.
face every day,
Yes.
right? And so right away, the spike on the usage just hits the roof.
Exactly. The Kenyans there were so amazing. The kind of support they gave us, it was so amazing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and they actually embraced the product.
embraced
oh,
it.
Kenyans?
Mm.
Oh,
Let's go. Let's
you've
do
come all the
this.
way here to do this? Good stuff, good stuff. We support you. Very, very supportive.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I love that. I love the idea that, like, this is one thing I know, that Kenyans are very supportive of what's
Homegrown.
Kenyan.
Yeah.
Homegrown stuff, people will get behind that for real. And that is one asset base that we still have in mind effectively at scale. And I'm really excited about the potential of what we will be able to do with that affinity, with that camaraderie, with that, that stuff. So anyway, so what happened? So what are the results that you started to see after that event in terms of usage? What are some of the milestones or metrics that just blew you away?
Okay, so month one, we did quite big volumes.
Which month one is when now?
That was March.
March, after the event in February.
The event was on 28th to 4th or 5th of March.
Okay,
Yeah, 20th of February to 5th of March.
okay.
Yeah. So we technically launched in March.
Okay.
Yeah. 28th was our dinner event for the Kenya Connect, and the Kenyans in the US would come over to Las Vegas. It was the chief guest was ambassador. Then was Ambassador Githai.
So what were the metrics you saw in that month, in March?
They were impressive. So we did a substantial amount. I think we did $100,000 that first month.
100,000 transfers, remittances.
$100,000 in terms of money that came in.
Through SawaPay?
Yeah, that's in a month. On Vegas alone, we haven't done
no other market.
Any ads on Diaspora Messenger. We haven't gone to Mwakilishi. We haven't done that. It was that event only.
Boom. How excited were you?
We were excited, but then I started seeing a problem.
What was the problem you had? You're transacting 100,000 in your first month, and then what's the problem?
We're still using our own cash. You don't have any investors on board.
So explain what that means, right? You're transacting 100,000. Explain what's the problem.
For me to do any transfer, for me to accept your money in the US, I must have the equivalent in Nairobi to do the release to complete to complete the payment.
Because it will take 3 days.
It's a pre-funded,
Okay.
It's a pre-funded
model.
Yeah, because once I get an authorization on your card, it doesn't really mean that I have the funds.
No.
The funds, I'll receive the funds at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah, if it's a working day. If it's a weekend, I'll probably receive it on
Monday
or Tuesday. So, as long as I've debited your account, the funds I've held, I'll have to release it on the side.
Right away, because that's your model.
Yeah, that's my model.
Okay.
I'm guaranteed I'll get that cash.
Right.
Yeah. So I must have the equivalent in Nairobi.
Mm-hmm. So you had to have 100,000 sitting in a bank account.
If I transact $50,000 today, I must release $50,000 equivalent in Nairobi.
In Nairobi, right.
So I must have
50,000 on a daily basis.
If it grows, I must also.
So you had to have at least a daily. You had to match your transaction growth on a day-to-day par basis. That was.
Yeah. So my biggest challenge was back then. I used to do weekly swifts from the US transfers to.
So wire transfers of the total bulk amount.
Yep.
Okay.
So at any one time, I must have equivalent of 7 days worth of transactions.
You had at least 7 days liquidity local
liquidity,
to make the business work. Okay.
Hadn't foreseen such growth. I didn't think.
So you basically broke your own business model with that Vegas launch. Vegas broke your stuff.
Not even Vegas. Vegas didn't break it. The break came later on.
Oh, okay. Keep going. So how did you survive that first month? Did you have enough money?
We had
okay.
enough.
Mm-hmm.
We had enough slot.
Mm-hmm.
We had enough slot.
Mm-hmm.
We got some sort of hiccup. We were working Chase Bank by then. So we got some hiccup. Chase Bank happened. They got into problems with CBK, so they had to go into receivership.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So you had to look for another provider or remove your funds? Your funds were... What happened?
Our funds were... Some of our funds were...
Compromised.
Not compromised.
You could access them.
We could access them. They were there for a while. So, luckily enough, we had another provider. So, we went to that provider. And business continued. So, we did another sort of marketing
push.
Yeah, in June. By then we had started advertising in Mwakilishi, Diaspora Messenger, most of those blogs that are created by Kenyans in the US. Uptake was good, so gets to June, we go back. June, there was it's usually the Madaraka Day event. Is it Madaraka or Jamhuri? It's Jamhuri. That was done fast. Okay, so Kenyans in the US also congregate a lot in that time for get-togethers, family get-together. So we got there,
Where was this now? Which city?
Several cities. We did.
You hit a number of different cities.
We hit a number of different cities.
Uh-huh.
So we landed in Delaware. Delaware, there's an event that was happening for Radio Jumbo, very, very popular radio in the US. Broadcast mostly in vernacular, Kikuyu. So we land there, we sponsor the event, we go there with our service. It's good. Luckily with that event, it was held in Delaware, but the participants were coming from all over the US.
Yeah, it had reached.
Some were coming from Seattle, Oklahoma, whatever. So it was a very good turnout. So June, I head over to Minnesota. After the event, I headed over to Minnesota. My colleagues went to Maryland. There was an event going on there. No, not Maryland, Boston. Went to Boston. And another colleague went to Seattle. We were about 4. So I head over to Minnesota. Event is a success. Then I start seeing transactions coming in from Minnesota. Damn. My volumes tripled.
From 100,000 to 300, or what?
No, I had already passed the 100. That was in June. There was 100% growth on month. Yeah.
Damn.
100% growth. So by the time I get to Minnesota, my volumes are
Tripling. So now what were you doing in volumes monthly? What did you do in June? Do you remember?
We should got into about 700.
$700,000 monthly. Okay.
So
SawaPay is on fire.
But there's a big problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten an investor. So we proceed.
So how are you dealing with this? How are you managing? So how much did you have to have a week to make the business work at that point? Because you need to have this 7 days of float.
Yeah, we needed to have. But then now we were doing. We managed to convince the bank. They were doing twice a week. So we still managed to sort of
manage the operating capital.
Yeah, we managed to operate. We somehow managed to maneuver that whole problem, and we were able to transfer. We were balancing the whole whatever. But then it got to a point whereby we couldn't really
handle it anymore.
Yeah.
You just ran out of money.
Yeah.
In terms of your problem was your business was so successful.
Exactly.
That you couldn't handle the growth. Wow.
You got to a point. Actually, had to turn off the application at times. I had to go offline. My worst days was on Friday. Yeah. I think guys were paid. Guys are usually paid on Friday, so
they would transfer Friday, money. Boom, spike.
You just see a spike. Like, heck.
Wow. Fundraising. I'm sure you were doing some fundraising.
Yes.
At the time. Tell us about that. What was your strategy? How did you go about that? Because,
we had a strategy. So we were approaching all these funds, VCs, fund managers.
Here locally?
Locally and abroad. Yeah. But then, I don't know. Most of them used to say we're too much of an early stage startup to be asking for such kind of money. Yeah.
How much were you asking?
But then we were trying to raise about $2 million.
So you're doing $700,000 a month in transactions.
Yeah.
And you're trying to raise $2 million, and they're saying you're too early stage.
That's what I used to be told. But not one, not two. Literally, almost all of them were telling us we too.
How many conversations did you have?
Wow. If I to get into my email, it'd be 50, 60 or so.
This is insane. But now there's a competitor.
There was a competitor all along.
There was a competitor all along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, by the time I'm launching, I think they'd launched about 8 months before.
Okay. All right. And they didn't seem to have the same problem that you had.
Nope.
Okay. So tell me about that. Do you have some insight into how their fundraising went, or?
I don't really have the insights, but I know they have been successful in raising funds, a lot of funds.
At some point you told me an amount. And
it's something that I was told, so
sure, it's something you're told, yeah, but you
I
can't.
think they raised about 20 million. This is the time they raised about $20 million.
They raised $20 million.
Yeah.
And what do you think is the difference? Why weren't you able to raise money?
I don't know. Probably the
You're in the same.
founder or the location where they are.
Where they're not local,
No, it's not a local company.
or they're not a local company.
Yeah.
But they're serving a local market.
Yes.
Where are they based?
They're based in the US.
They're based in the US.
Yes.
So the US startup, in the space that you're operating in, tapping into this market, and they basically, because they could raise $20 million and you could not.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Because you are doing $700,000 worth of business. And you had a supportive market. Like,
Very, very supportive.
wow. So what happened?
So we're still trying to raise. We've never given up.
But I know some stuff have happened since then, because you've
Yeah,
talked.
so what happened is that we decided to change the strategy, because also our partner, the licensing aspect was also very, very expensive. So we decided now to own the whole ecosystem,
End to end.
end to end.
So have an operating company in the States with
In the
license.
States, which is licensed,
Uh-huh.
and the same entity partner with the local banks or Safaricom and Pesa through approval by the Central Bank of Kenya. And we own the whole ecosystem without relying on partners, because
You had
partners can
problems.
also mess you up along the way. If
So
you
you-
over rely on a partner,
Yeah.
it can also mess you up.
So you had a problem with a local partner who was doing this, who was licensed to do the.
Yes. So
They try to go around you, or
they actually went around us. They didn't try to go around us. So they went around us, decided to talk to our partners.
to your partner in the US
Yep.
to undercut you.
Yeah, they basically were trying to undercut us. So we just watched them.
Uh-huh.
They didn't know the challenges.
They didn't know what they were getting into.
They didn't know what they were getting into, so we just watched them. They've never been successful, so they gave up on the whole thing after they had already messed us up.
Oh my God! So this is the biggest. Wow! So they thought, oh shit, if he can do it, let's go do it.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the stomach for.
Yeah.
You see, they didn't have the drive that you had.
They tried it for 3 months. It didn't work out. They gave up.
They gave up, but they already
3 months.
messed you up already.
Yeah, they already messed up.
Because they had talked to. How did they mess you up?
Then we had gotten an investor, local investor, not really local, African investor from Zambia, Zambia, who was willing to give us $4 million.
Okay. How much?
$4 million.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the closest we had ever gotten to raising funds. So when they're doing the due diligence, so we didn't know this was already happening in the background.
That your partner was going around you.
Yep.
That you didn't have a partner anymore. You had somebody who was basically.
That wasn't a partner.
Wow. But they would smile in your face and you'd think everything was cool.
Yeah. So they messed up that whole.
How did they mess it up? What do you mean?
So apparently, I think they had already signed up another agreement with our partner. So when this partner was doing due diligence,
When the investor was doing due diligence.
When the investor was doing the due diligence, I don't know what they said, but then
Because he talked to them.
Yeah.
The investor talk to them. I want to talk to your partners.
Yeah. So we were very open. We were like, okay, not a problem. You can talk to them privately. We don't have an issue with them.
Right.
Because it was a partner.
Mm.
So, investor went called like, what's happening? Like, no, we won't be proceeding with this.
What?
We were right at the end.
Damn.
It took us about 8 months.
Yeah.
That was last year.
Last
year, June, to be precise.
So you have never known what transpired in that conversation behind closed doors.
Nope.
But it was what basically was the dagger, basically, right? Because after that, investor went cold.
Yeah, investor went cold. But by then, we had already started the registration process
of your new strategy, end to end.
Yeah, end to end. Yeah.
Okay. Dude, man. So, where are you now? What's happening right now? Because this is June last year when...
Yeah, June last year, so everything is in place. Most of the stuff is in place, so we're looking at relaunching probably early next year, hopefully.
So your partner your former partner who tried to go around you, tried for 3 months and they gave up, right? And your US partner also we decided to go into bed with them.
Yeah.
And they both gave up, basically.
Yeah, they both gave up, so we had to cut our ties.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so now where are you right now? What's going on?
So we have pretty much put everything together. So in the final stages of completing a few agreements, and hopefully we should be back.
Up and running.
Yeah.
So under the SawaPay brand?
Still under the SawaPay.
I love it. That's awesome.
It is a brand that has a story.
Let me tell you something, Osoro. This story right here, I am committed. I am excited about you winning this one for the culture. You know what I'm saying? This one, because this is the first blog post I wrote after you and I met, because this hit me in my soul.
Actually, I didn't even give you the whole story then.
You gave me enough for me to be like, this is the first blog post I wrote, and it's been my most widely read. I got all kinds of people reaching out because of that blog post, man.
I think I'll eventually, after everything settles down, I think I'll write a book. It's a story. It's a very, very big story.
It's amazing.
It has a lot of chapters. Everything has been a learning curve. I've never really regretted
going down this path.
Nope. They've all been lessons to me.
I'm so proud and humbled and so excited about you from the first time I met you, dude. And I gotta tell you, man, that meeting we had in Lavington.
Yeah.
It was Lavington. It was in Lavington, remember?
I remember.
That meeting, that was one of the meetings where I was like, that was a month I was in Kenya, in East Africa, trying to make the decision.
I think you just come in from Nigeria, no, Rwanda, then you go to Nigeria, something of the sort. I remember we had a long conversation. Yeah.
And so it has been in my heart and in my spirit that this guy right here, what he's been through, in a space that should be so obvious for us to win, because remittances are such a big deal for us.
You saw the article in the newspaper the other day, Business Daily.
What did it say?
Kenyans are remitting 1 billion shillings every day to Kenya.
Dude,
1 billion.
This
billion every day. We are doing $2.7 billion. Right now, we are $2.7 billion.
A year. A month. Holy shit. That's all. That's a market. I have always believed, and everybody knows this is true, this is not news, the biggest untapped potential, one of the biggest untapped market potentials is this diaspora, the pent-up demand.
Diaspora controls about, I think it's about 7, the remittances they send contributes to about 7% of Kenya's GDP. Imagine. 7%. It's more than the foreign direct investments that are coming in.
For real?
Yeah. It's a very, very important aspect of the Kenya's economy.
We're not doing much with this thing, dude. We're not doing it in a coordinated, you see what I'm saying? You can build so much with it. I think you could double that. If that, I'm telling you because I've been a diaspora person for a long time.
Yes.
Our biggest frustration was opacity, lack of, we can't execute, we don't have structures to put money into where we can invest.
Yeah.
High level of trust. There's just not enough. There's so much product you could build around that need for diaspora to find a path to invest back here so they can start building their retirement plan.
Yeah, and I think government needs to do a lot.
I've never been a fan of
for the diaspora. Those guys.
Listen, I've never been a fan of people like to say government. Government has to create the conditions for sure, right? Beyond that, it's not the government job to create products, financial products.
Not really products, to really support them. I don't know how they
No, it's not. It's you. It's me. It's the people who need to create. The government's job is not to. They create the conditions of trust, of predictability. They've done a phenomenal job, I think. I mean, just, so far. But there's room to improve. There's room to improve.
There's a lot of room to improve. CBK is really supporting fintechs from what I see the Central Bank of Kenya is trying to do, and also sort of come up with some sort of regulation that will probably assist other fintechs to get into the markets very easily without a lot of challenges. But I'm also looking at the diaspora. I don't know how they need some support structures.
Let me tell you something. It's a private sector game. You build a company that addresses the problems people have.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a series of companies. It's a series of services.
Mm-hmm.
You're providing one of those services.
Yes.
The problem with when I try to transfer money, when people try to transfer money, there's a limit of a certain amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're unable to.
So there's not enough.
Actually, I know. Lots of people. Okay, what usually used to happen is like they use the competitor's application to send. They hit the limit.
Exactly.
But then this guy needs to send home about
$2,500. Let's say. I don't know.
No, they do send a lot of money. To send 4,000, 5,000 upwards. So this app has a limit of 2,500. This other one has a limit of 2,500. That's 5,000. Probably he wanted to send $7,000. So he marks out his limit. Then now he goes to his friend like,
can I send through
your app? And you'd send money home.
We're not serving that. We're not serving the diaspora, man. Let me tell you the truth.
Yeah, there's still a lot of.
Because people, dude, you know what? I think about this all the time because this was my problem. My problem was how can I actually start to remit and invest money back home, so that I can start to build my retirement plan, future, so on and so forth. My whole play before I made the move back was let me extract as much money from the American financial system so I can move it back here. That was my whole move. Yeah. And that's most Kenyans, that's how I believe how they think.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But there's not enough options.
Very few options for them to be able to move their savings back home, invest.
And that's why the future looks amazing, because these problems will be solved.
They'll be solved.
You're one of the guys I think who's going to be the foundational infrastructure for that. And let me tell you something, Osoro. I'm so glad and proud and happy that it's you, because you have come up this the hard way, right? So you're not going to be a jerk about it. You're going to be supportive. You're going to be helpful to everybody else who's right on top of your platform. Because what you're building, I think, is a platform.
It is a platform. There's some new products that you're coming up with, new services, so still in the pipeline. So when you're back, it will be a more attractive service or application that anyone in the diaspora in the US would want to use. It will actually be adding more value to whatever we'll be offering then.
Man, I can't wait to hear about it. When are these things coming online?
Soon. What I'll say is soon.
Yeah, you gotta listen. When that happens, you gotta come back. We'll support everything you do and help you kind of blow it up.
Scale,
to the best we can. Because we're champions of local founders building local companies with an international potential. That's just fired up and excited. So, I mean, final things here. lessons, like if you knew what you know right now in 2014, what would you do different?
If we knew what I knew right now. I think a few things I would have done differently. Probably I would have delayed the launch and probably create or develop the whole ecosystem myself end to end. That is the only thing I would have done differently. All the others were lessons.
Right. But you would not have known that until you went through the lessons
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're advising somebody right now, if you're advising yourself, it's like,
If you believe in whatever you're doing, if you believe in it, just focus. Be disciplined. And just execute it. Make sure you have the right team. Don't try and wing anything. Just have the right team. Focus on the end goal and execute.
that's it.
That's it.
What do you think stops people from doing what you just said? Are people local?
Local, probably you don't have the muscle, you give up so easily. There's nothing that is easy in this world. So if you have that mentality that this thing is tough, there's so many people who are telling me, you can't get that market, you can't do remittance, that thing is impossible to do. You can't do it. I did it. Got a few challenges, but I'm like, I'll still do it. It's something that can be done. So don't ever give up. If you believe in the service and you can actually see it is creating a positive impact in society, just do it.
So that's that's the most important thing, though. It has to be something that is creating positive impact.
Yeah.
It has to be something worth doing.
Yes. It must create impact. Otherwise, it will be probably a hobby for you. You're just doing it for the sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is important, right? Because I think that's what makes the difference between people who do great things. First of all, they start with something that has impact potential, right? Then they never give up. And I have also kind of in my life gone through the journey of trying to figure out what is the thing I want to do, that has impact.
Yes.
But when I found what it was, dude, it's like I'm dying on this hill.
Whatever you're doing is very great. Yourself. I actually thought you would have given up by now. I was like, you really want to give up your job in Silicon Valley and come back? Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I was like, okay, I was looking at you. That was the first time we were discussing at Lavington. So I was like, are you really sure? You're going to give up that life? Come here, hustle.
Are you crazy?
Things are tough here. But I've seen you very dedicated. Whatever you're doing, the stories that you're bringing out, they're also creating impact somewhere. You might not know, but there's impact that they do create.
No, we appreciate that, man. Look, I was listening to the president of Ghana yesterday. There was a tweet that he's done this talk about the destiny and the kind of like the life experience of people in the diaspora is directly linked to the performance of the continent, where the continent is, the stories that are being told about the continent, impact how people live, are treated, are respected or otherwise. And so for me, man, it's this transformation of Africa. Everybody's talking about it right now. And now it's locals. It's people with skin in the game, in the reputation, in the destiny of this place. It's like people like yourself and myself. So I feel like this time it is different. I feel like, the reason why I left that, why I made the move?
Yep.
Because, dude, for me, it is to be fair, it's very obvious where this is going.
Yes.
Okay? Opportunity is massive, right? The next 10 years is going to be insane. So there's a massive financial, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's also like, what are we going to do with that? What is the potential for transforming our society, creating a new narrative around how someone like you can build something and not be corrupt and not join the assembly line of, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So that a young person from Kisumu High can say, dude, if that guy can build a fintech company, I don't have to go and do the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That other story about how wealth is created, corruption, and what people have come to accept as status quo.
And also, don't do it for the money, for the sake of money. Okay, yeah, we are all driven by profits, but don't expect to, be successful or be super rich in
Overnight.
a year after launching.
Not gonna happen.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Then the very few sports pesa is actually
Sportpesa took time for it to get where it was.
but at the end of the day,
Okay, but then that niche is also different.
It's a problem niche. Let's not even. That's not creating impact. It's creating negative impact. Let's just call a spade a spade, right? So, but I guess the reason why I brought it up is like, not most businesses are not going to be that way, right?
Mm-hmm. There's some, yeah, but not all.
99% of them are not going to be that way.
Yeah, you just need to work hard, be super focused.
That's the thing that I find most people don't do.
Don't try and do
side hustle.
things at a go.
Say that again?
Don't try and do three things at a go. If you're focusing on this business, just focus on it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wacha maneno mingi.
So I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Okay, side hustle, yeah, but
what's your core?
what's your core? What takes up most of your time?
That's when you know somebody who's a real one. That's when you know what you call a real one, right? And I guess we're going to have to wrap it up with this. But final thing I always ask people is, what's your vision 2030? Where do you think what's the potential for us to create great company? What can happen here?
Vision 2030, in terms of creating a
Success. Yeah.
We need to believe in ourselves. I think Kenya, by then, if I'm talking about Kenya, we have a lot of super ideas that are coming up. And local entrepreneurs, they need to be I'll keep on repeating this. They need to be focused on what they're doing. Don't be discouraged when you see some foreign-owned companies or foreign-owned local companies that are owned by foreign founders doing better than you. Don't be discouraged. Just keep on trying. These things will change eventually. And I believe by 2030, I think we'll have a unicorn from this side of Africa. West Africa, yeah.
That's actually an amazing place to start. We will have a unicorn by 2030. You heard it here first from the man who probably built that unicorn. Thanks, man. Alan Osoro, man. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll definitely have to have you back for part 2 when things are kicked off and you can actually open up a little bit more about what you're doing and more about that amazing story.
I really appreciate your time and for you hosting me here. It was a pleasure.
Always.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Good stuff, bud.